morning, everybody. Good morning. How is everybody doing this morning? I, for one, am very, very happy to be here, guys. If you're happy to be here too, put a one in the chat box. Let's see who's awake this morning. Let's see who is awake this morning. Come on, there we go. There's Dr. Ramothy and Michelle. It's good to know that everybody can hear my voice, and it is good to know that you guys are sharing this morning with me. It is Monday, September 22nd, and we are slowly walking down the time that we have left for Anaheim. Somebody asked me the other day, they said, Eric, you had all of these wonderful guests, all these great speakers on Saturday on the Zoom talking about what they wanted to get out of Anaheim, how building to events makes a difference in their business, how going to events make a difference in their business. And they said, why weren't you on there? As if I had to be on there, right? I don't have to be on every Zoom, but I love going. Erica, the wellness coach, who's going to Puerto Vallarta. Erica, I will be there, and I'll be there with bells on. So I didn't want to do Saturday because I knew that I was going to be doing today. And I don't need to take 5 minutes when I can take the next 30 minutes of your time to talk about Anaheim and what that's all about. So I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about that, but I'm also going to start, and I did a little bit of this yesterday with my team, with our team. A book that I'm currently reading, it's called The Dream Giver. And it's by Albert Wilkinson. If you've ever read that book, put a one in the chat box this morning. Put a one in the chat box if you've ever read that book. Excellent, excellent. So this book got recommended to me back in the 90s, and I'm just now getting around to reading it. And I think it's a great book, and it's a great book that I want to share a few pages with you guys this morning and then talk to you a little bit about Anaheim and what that's all going to mean. Don't worry about it. I'm a pretty good reader. So the story, the parable begins. Not long ago, not far away, a nobody named Ordinary lived in the land of familiar. Every day was pretty much the same for Ordinary. In the mornings, he got up and he went to his usual job. After work, he ate almost the same dinner he'd eaten the night before. Then he'd sit in a recliner and watch the box that mesmerized most nobodies on most nights. Sometimes best friend came over to join Ordinary in front of the box. Sometimes Ordinary went to his parents and they watched together. For the most part, not much happened in familiar that hadn't happened before. Ordinary thought that he was content. He found the routines reliable. He blended in with the crowd, and mostly he wanted only what he had. Until the day Ordinary noticed a small nagging feeling that something big was missing from his life. Or maybe the feeling was that he was missing from something big. He wasn't sure. The little feeling grew, and even though nobody's in familiar didn't generally expect the unexpected, Ordinary began to wish for it. Time passed, and one morning, Ordinary woke up with these words echoing in his mind. What you're missing, you already have. Could it be? Ordinary looked and looked, and then he discovered that in the small corner of his heart lay a big dream. The big dream told him that he, a nobody, was made to be a somebody and destined to achieve great things. Jumping out of bed, Ordinary discovered something else, a long white feather resting on the sill of his window. Where did it come from? What did it mean? With a jolt of excitement, Ordinary decided he'd been visited by the dream giver. Now, Ordinary had heard rumors of various nobodies in familiar waking up to a big dream, but he never imagined that it could happen to him. He rushed and got dressed, his big dream beating brightly in his chest. He couldn't wait to get to his usual job and tell best friend the news. But on his way to work, Ordinary realized he had a problem. His big dream was too big for nobody like Ordinary. He would be embarrassed to tell anyone. Even best friend would probably laugh. Still, Ordinary was too excited to keep his dream to himself. As soon as he saw best friend, he blurted out the news. Hey, the dream giver gave me a big dream. I was made to be a somebody and destined to achieve great things. Best friend looked surprised. He didn't laugh. He said, that's very big. But if I were you, I wouldn't talk about this dream of yours too much. Nobody's around here might take you for a fool. Ordinary didn't want to look like a fool, so after that he kept his big dream to himself. Day after day, Ordinary would show up as his usual job, but while he worked, he thought about his dream. He thought about how wonderful it would be to do what he loved to do instead of just dreaming about it. Ordinary's longing for his big dream grew and grew until finally he realized that he'd never, ever be happy unless he could pursue it. Why didn't the dream giver make it possible? If the dream giver didn't, how could Ordinary ever leave familiar? He had payments and expenses. He had regular duties. A lot of nobodies counted on him for a lot of things. Ordinary felt completely stuck. Time passed, but nothing changed. He began to hate his usual job. This isn't what I was made to do, he said to himself. I just know it. After a while, he began to worry that maybe he hadn't received a big dream after all. Maybe he just made it all up. And as he did that, ladies and gentlemen, he felt worse and worse and sadder every single day. The parable of the dream giver is this. This is the story of Ordinary, just like this Zoom. It's made up of ordinary folks. A nobody who leaves the land of familiar. We are all comfortable where we are. The book is going to introduce you to big ideas and it's going to encourage you guys to read it. I highly recommend that you guys read that book. So let's talk about what it means. In direct sales and network marketing, Anna Rita says she's as ordinary as they come. In direct sales, people don't join because they want to join Vital Health. They don't join because they want to get a bunch of products drop shipped to their house on a regular basis, month to month. They don't join the business. They don't join you because they want to have a big check coming to their bank account every week or every month or every once in a while, whatever the case may be. That's not why they joined Vital Health. That's not why they joined direct sales. That's not why you joined. There's something that you wanted Vital Health to be able to bring to you. You wanted good health. And because you wanted good health, you saw a solution with Vital Health being able to help you get there. You wanted to make some extra money. And because you wanted extra money, that extra money was meant to pay extra bills. It was made for you guys to have the ability to go do certain things. You wanted to travel around the world. You wanted to be able to pay off your car notes. You wanted to be able to retire your mom and dad. You wanted to make sure that when they retired, they didn't have to stay in a nursing home. You wanted to make sure your kids had money for college. That's what you wanted, and you looked at Vital Health as a solution to help you get there. When you're in this business, oftentimes we don't recruit people based upon how they should be recruited. We try to recruit people based upon what we need, as opposed to focusing on what they need. Like we always say, when you've been around this business for a long time, guys, you know that people don't do this business just for the money. If they did it for the money, they wouldn't make any money. And let me say that again. Sabrina says she wants to honor her late son and never go back to a 9-to-5 ever again. Sabrina, we want to help you do that. Now, Sabrina, that's your why, and I absolutely love it. They say that your why should make you fly. Your why should make you cry. Your why should be so big and so scary that you almost don't want to accomplish it. You almost don't want to go after it because you're afraid of what might happen if you actually got it, or B, you tried and failed. So when you're talking to people trying to bring them into this business, you don't bring them into the business based upon what's important to you. Bring them into the business based upon what's important to them. If I was calling up Sabrina Massey right now, do you think I would call her up and say, hey, tonight there's a guy out there with a who's going to be doing a great Zoom. He's going to be talking about how we can make some money and help a whole lot of people around the world. And by the way, we got a promotion coming up in Anaheim, and it's going to be fantastic. You should come. Sabrina Massey's going to be saying, so? Because none of that's important to her. But if I was to go back to Sabrina Massey and I say, Sabrina Massey, I've heard you say before that you want to honor your late son. That sounds like a very, very noble goal, and never have to go back to work and do a 9 to 5 ever again. Have you got a solution for that? No? Well, Sabrina, I think that there's somebody you should listen to who's going to be talking tonight. He's helping people just like you escape the 9 to 5, be able to honor their son. He's a fantastic speaker. He's helping thousands of people do it, making a lot of money, having a lot of fun at the same time. The Zoom is at 7 o'clock. Can you make it? That person's going to say yes, because now you made it about them. You didn't make it about you. You see, whatever your why is, put it in your back pocket. You'll never use it again except to keep you motivated. Your business is going to be built upon the whys of other people 100% of the time. You're going to have 12, 15, 25 people that you personally recruited. You're going to have 12 to 15, 25 people that you have to know what their why is and help them achieve it. My good friend and business partner would always say that you have to be responsible. If you're going to be a sponsor, you're responsible for them. You're responsible to help them grow and build their business. You have to know why they need to do this business, because at some point they're going to want to quit. It's too hard. It's too challenging. They talked to all their friends and both of them said no. Then you got to go back and remind them. Sabrina, you said you wanted to honor your son. Did you mean that when you said that, or were you just BSing me? Did you find another solution that's going to allow you to do that? If not, we need to revisit this, because there's people just like you, dealing with life just like you are, who've got goals the same way that you have, and they're making it work for them. Let me talk to you with my sponsor. Let me talk to you with my upline diamond. And let's see what we can do to get you back on track, because I don't want you working a 9 to 5. I want you to honor your son. And I think this is a great way we can do it. Guess what happens? People stay engaged a lot longer when you make it about them. When you make it about them. So how does that tie to Anaheim? Anaheim is about belief. Anaheim is about believing that you can do it. Anaheim is about seeing other people just like you walk across that stage who are making thousands of dollars, maybe tens of thousands of dollars. Anaheim is about people like you who managed to escape their 9 to 5. Anaheim is about people just like you who managed to retire their mom and their dad. I always like hearing David talked about how he wanted to retire his mom. That was his goal. That was his dream. Do you think he was BSing when he said that? No. Why? Because he was able to do it. He meant it. I don't know what life he came from. I don't know how ordinary he was before. I don't know how familiar he was or where familiar was for him. But at some point, the dream giver gave him a dream, and it was too big for him to hold on to. He had to share with people. He had to face the ridicule, and he had to go out and push forward, do it. And then because of that, because he left the land of familiar, because he left his comfort zone, he was able to accomplish that. When you go to Anaheim, you're going to hear stories like that from people. Maybe David's story doesn't resonate with you. Maybe you got a different story, but there's going to be somebody in Anaheim. They're going to be walking across the stage, and they're going to be getting an award. They're going to be shaking hands with the president, the CEO, and Dr. Tony, and they're going to have the same story that you have. The same exact story. I've been in network marketing. I've been in direct sales for about 30 years. Let me tell you some stories that I've heard at some of these events. I met a lady one time, about to lose everything that she had. When I say everything, I mean everything that she had. She would sleep during the day in her storage unit and close it down. And because they'd walk around at night, she would leave before nightfall and she would go to places like Walmart that stayed open 24 hours a day and Denny's and have a cup of coffee and sit down. She didn't know what she was going to do. She had just got a notification that they were going to foreclose on her storage unit. She had nothing. Zero, zip, nada. She joined an opportunity that was in telecommunications. And I think at the time, the basic thing was like $200. She joined it because $200 was not enough to save her storage unit. She had already lost a car, had nothing. We didn't have cell phones back in that day, by the way. She walked across that stage because she got a check within 30 days with a comma in it. And that $1,000 or whatever, $1,200, was able to allow her to have the ability to make enough money to save her storage unit, and thus everything that she had. The pictures of her kids, the pictures of her parents, her couch, all that stuff, the stuff that she was holding on to have a little bit of peace in life. She was able to save her stuff, to save everything that she owned because she joined this business. She was on the stage telling that story with tears pouring down her eyes, and there was somebody in the audience with a similar situation going through everything. And that person got inspired and they had hope. That person identified with her. I was on Zoom one day. There was a lady who was a nurse, and I'm not sure who it was anymore. She was doing an AM power call, but she was a nurse. And there was another nurse in the chat saying, I'm a nurse too, and I'm having those same issues. We're struggling financially. That's why you got to get to events. You're going to be shaking hands with ordinary people who are living extraordinary lives because they left their comfort zone. They left the land of familiar and did something different. They did that. Met another young lady. She was this close to selling her body. She was out of options. She got into network marketing. She got into, not this business, but one like it. And she was able to do something that she didn't think was even possible. Nobody ever introduced her to network marketing before. But she felt like if she can go sell her body, she could do this. Direct sales. She was on the stage telling that story. And I'm sure there's other people in the audience that was inspired, maybe other women in the audience, maybe having a similar situation. And she was on stage able to tell that story. Another success story. There's another young lady that I know of who was an exotic dancer. Didn't have much opportunities. Nobody ever told her that there was something like direct sales until the day that somebody actually did, the dream giver. Somebody actually came to the club that she was working with and shared a network marketing opportunity with her. She was on stage telling her story. Every time she gets a chance to get on stage and tell her story, she tells her story. She turned that lifestyle into about $2 million a month. And I'm telling you, not to really impress you, but to share with you that there's people out there willing to do whatever it takes to succeed, and they're coming from the same places that you're coming from. And they're able to do it. And they're able to do it, and they're able to get it done. When you go to a place, when you go to Anaheim, you're going to hear from some diamonds, some double diamonds, some triple diamonds, probably some black diamonds, that somebody told them that they couldn't do it, and they did it anyway. There's a poem that I like, and I'm going to share with you guys today by Edgar Albert Geist called It Couldn't Be Done. Somebody said that it couldn't be done, but with a chuckle, he replied that maybe it couldn't, but he would be one who wouldn't say so till he tried. So he buckled right in with a trace of a grin on his face if he worried he hit it. He started to sing as he tackled the thing that couldn't be done, and he did it. Somebody scoffed, "Oh, you'll never do that. At least no one has ever done it." But he took off his coat and he took off his hat, and the first thing we know, he begun it. With the lift of his chin and a bit of his grin, without any doubting or quitting, he started to sing as he tackled the thing that couldn't be done, and he did it. There are thousands to tell you it cannot be done. There are thousands to prophesy failure. There are thousands to point out to you one by one the dangers that wait to assail you. But just buckle in with a bit of a grin. Just take off your coat and go to it. Just start in to sing and you'll tackle the thing that cannot be done, and you do it. There's a lady that I know, nobody ever told her that she couldn't go out and make $1 million her first year in direct sales. And to my knowledge, it had never been done before. And if I mention this lady's name, many of you guys would know it immediately. But she was walking through a grocery store and she was about to transport drugs from one state to another state, when the guy reached out to her because he had this, well, I'm going to say it like this. He said God told him to talk to this woman. And he talked to this woman. He says, whatever you got going through, don't do it. And the woman looked at him like he was crazy. He says, whatever you're going through, don't do it. There's another way. And she started thinking about what she was about to do. The decision that she was about to do could have completely changed the direction of her life. He gave her his card and said, come talk to me. She came and talked to him. She made an appointment to come talk to him. She went and saw him like the next week. She told him what her story was, and he gave her a job. This young woman then went out and did what she did, and she excelled at it because somebody gave her a chance. They gave her an opportunity. She didn't have the education. And when somebody told her about network marketing, she jumped in. She jumped in with both feet. For those of you guys that's in sales, you know what I'm about to say. When you're in sales, at the end of every month, you're unemployed. You got to do it all over again, right? You're only as good in sales as your last sale. Trust me. I've been a sales manager for companies that I took from $20 million a year to almost $100 million a year in sales. And I would see good salespeople one month be a bad salesperson the next month. If they're a bad salesperson the month after that, I would have to fire them. In sales, people only care about what you're doing right now. No matter how good you were, you cannot live on your record. And if I kept you as a sales manager and you weren't making any money, since we only paid on commissions, I wasn't doing you any favors by keeping you. So I had to let people go. I had to. And I developed one of the best sales teams in the home improvement industry in the state of Michigan by having the philosophy that there's people out there that are doing a job and they're resting in their comfort zone and they can't get any better. And I would be holding them back if I let them stay in that position. There's people out there, guys, who are in network marketing right now that really need to be in Anaheim. They really need to hear these stories. They really need to understand that people in this business, we're on these Zooms and you don't know us from a can of paint, but we do care about you. And we care about you because you're just like us. The struggle is real. Some of you are in a kitchen, some of you guys are in a living room, some of you are driving a car. We all are these people. And we all want to do this business, and we go talk to our best friend, and best friend tell us that we're crazy for considering it, we're crazy for looking at it, we're crazy for doing it. I'm going to tell you, if you believe them, then you're the crazy one. You really are crazy. One thing I like about direct sales is that it is completely the great equalizer. You're going to see everybody across that stage. You're going to see women. You're going to see men. You're going to see old people. You're going to see young people. You're going to see white people. You're going to see black people. You're going to see people who are smarter than you. And you're darn sure going to see people who are dumber than you. And then you're going to understand that really it's a everybody type of opportunity. Anybody can do this business. I've seen guys make this kind of money that we're talking about in direct sales in wheelchairs. I remember in one of my companies 30 some odd years ago, they asked this young woman, it wasn't a young woman, they asked this woman, 87 years old, why was she in network marketing? She said she got into it for the long-term residual income. That's the power of positive thinking right there. And you're 87 years old and you're in it for the long-term residual income. Anaheim is one of those things you guys don't want to miss. My good friend and business partner, he's got to be there. You got to meet him. And hopefully he tells you his story. He was living in Los Angeles, dyslexic. He used to do tags like graffiti on buses. And he'll tell you the network marketing saved his life. His next step would have been to probably continue gang banging or not what nobody's going to do, trying to work jobs and do the right thing. Network marketing changed his life. Today, he's one of the most successful people I know in network marketing. He can read, but he can't write. Don't if he starts writing stuff, the letter's going to be backwards and everything. I tell you that, I promise you. But he's going to be speaking on the stage. You're not going to want to miss him. I don't care if you have to get there and call 5 people who are above you and below you and ask you if you could sleep in the bathtub of the hotel room that they're going to be in, you should be in Anaheim. It is what, September 22nd? And Anaheim is November 2nd. I don't know that you don't have money for a plane ticket or bus fare, but I do know that if you start walking right now, you can make it. I don't think you want to walk. And if you do, you got to probably carry an extra couple pairs of shoes. But Anaheim is that important. I'll be there. I promise you. And I would love to break bread and hold hands and give you guys all great big hugs. I would love to do that with every single one of you guys who are on this Zoom. Because there was a time that I got involved in network marketing that people was telling me that, Eric, you'll never make any money in network marketing. You'll never make any money in direct sales. You need to give it up. I come from Grand Rapids, Michigan, where this is the home of Amway Company. And everybody in Grand Rapids hates Amway. Because we all got dragged to meetings that was supposed to be birthday parties for their kids, all that kind of stuff. We did all of that. So everybody hated network marketing. And try to build a network marketing business anytime in Grand Rapids, Michigan, home of Amway, is extremely difficult. Number one, they're a lot better at it than you. We used to call them the Dutch Mafia back home. They come knocking on your door to ask you why you haven't paid your auto ship. Is everything all right? They come knocking on your door back in those days. Right? So everybody hated. So when I got involved in network marketing, by extension, everybody hated me. Because now I got involved in network marketing. Fortunately for me, I didn't listen to people. I'm hard-headed. People tell me I can't do something, I really want to go out and do it. I'm one of those people that want to prove them wrong. I'm one of those people that got tough skin. You can call me any name in the book, and I've been called every name you can think of. And I've been called names you can't think of. I've been called names in different languages because I've been halfway around the world twice. And I can tell you, if I believe people who tell me that I can't do it, then I can't do it because I believe them. I only want to be surrounded by the best of the best. I only want to be around the people who are the most positive. I only want to be around the people with the most amount of energy. I only want to be around you guys because we're the same. We're all ordinary. in the land of familiar, and we all have a big dream. And the dream is not vital health. The dream is to retire your mom. The dream is to retire your dad. The dream is to not have to go back to a 9 to 5 and honor your father, honor your son. That's what vital health is giving you. Vital health, guys, is the dream giver. And you have a big dream right now. And even though you're in the land of familiar and best friend is going to tell you that you can't do it, I'm going to tell you to do it anyway. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that's my time. I really appreciate you guys all for tuning in this morning and listening to me. I love talking to you guys. Man, I love talking to you guys, and I can't wait to see you guys all in Anaheim. Thank you so much.